She ignored my calls all day. At 10 p.m., she finally walked in and wore that careless little smirk like a statement. "You know what happened?" she said, like it was nothing. "I had a one-night stand. And I'd do it again." She clicked across the tile in heels, indifferent. She didn't look at me. She looked right through me. Then the line dropped like glass across the table. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't even set my fork down. I finished the last bite, nodded once, and that single motion, so small, she mistook for weakness. What she couldn't see was that nod was the planting of something else, my plan. 7 years of marriage, quiet routines, whispered plans, laughter in the dark. I thought loyalty was our unspoken contract. I'd carried her through storms, money troubles, family fights, her doubts. I believed I was her anchor. Turns out I was the floor she walked on. The signs were there. Distance, late nights, a phone face down buzzing in the shadows. I refused to accept it until that smirk tore the curtain away. Pain hit first, then a clean clarity. I didn't confront her in the heat. Words don't win wars. Preparation does. The next morning, while she stretched and asked for coffee, I stood in the doorway and watched. She expected the same obedient husband who bent to her moods. She didn't see the ledger of calculations forming behind my calm. I moved quietly. Passwords, accounts, legal documents, secured one by one. While she slept, I checked her phone when her guard was down. Names, numbers, photos, everything copied, filed, encrypted, hidden. 2 weeks of silence followed. I kept up the act. Cooked dinners, kissed her cheek, let her believe the storm had passed. All the while, I shifted pieces she couldn't see. I called a lawyer, transferred assets, separated accounts she assumed were joint. The house, the savings, the titles. I disentangled them slowly, pulling the ground out from under her while she was busy tasting freedom. Then I set the trap. An IT friend recovered deleted messages from her phone. The evidence was brutal. Different names, different nights, timestamps that couldn't lie. I printed it out. Not for her, for the court. One Friday she dressed up and said she was meeting a friend. I let her go. Hours later I followed, measured and quiet. I watched him laughing in a bar, her hand tracing his arm the way she used to trace mine. I took photos, film proof she couldn't delete. When she stumbled through the door after midnight smelling of perfume and whiskey, I was at the dining table with paper spread like a magician's reveal. She frowned. "What's this?" she asked, voice sharp. "Your legacy," I said. She scanned the printouts. Color drained from her face. Excuses formed and fell away. I didn't give her room. "I know every name, every night, every word you sent," I told her. "I could ruin you with these." Her voice broke. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "Because you smirked," I answered. The next week she woke expecting the life she knew, coffee in bed, a husband who folded to her moods. Instead she found silence and empty drawers. Her car had been reclaimed. Her credit cards canceled. Her bank accounts frozen. She had the clothes she wore that day and the hollow echo of her arrogance. I filed for divorce with a pile of evidence no attorney could ignore. Adultery documented, financial misconduct exposed. She wasn't just losing me. She was losing everything. When she protested, her own messages throttled her case. Judges don't favor serial betrayers. The house stayed with me. The account stayed with me. She walked away with shame. The final blow came at her sister's birthday. She arrived desperate, recasting herself as the victim. Whispers spread. Eyes turned. I stayed calm. When she tried to twist the story, I laid the evidence out for everyone, screenshots, photos, dates, names. The room went quiet. Her sister wept. Her father left. She collapsed into a chair, exposed, sobbing. Not with regret so much as humiliation. That moment tipped the scale. Her power was gone. Mine remained. Do I regret it? No. Regret is for those who still love. I stopped loving her the second she smirked and said she'd do it again. Now I make my own coffee in the morning, drink it slowly in the quiet while no one expects me to be the fool. She thought betrayal would break me. Instead, it taught me to burn quietly and strategically until the fire consumed her world, not mine. I don't hate her. I don't feel anything. And that, more than anything, is my revenge.